Oh, there I am. I'm already having problems. I forgot to add myself to the stream. But anyway, how's everybody doing this evening? Hope everybody is doing okay. This was a last minute live stream I decided to do. I was actually going to do a video at some point last night or today, but then all these breaking stories and updates to stories that I've been sharing with y'all and following have had some updates. And other creators are on all day doing lives. So, sorry, my cat has exited the building. Tigger has left the building. Anyway, so between trying to get some information together for you guys, some updates to share with you guys tonight, and watching other creators' live streams about all this breaking news that was going on, I didn't get a chance to get a video made. So I said, well, I'll just do a last minute live stream. And, you know, if nobody shows up, they can watch it on replay. It'll be just like a video anyway, because I don't edit any of my videos. So what you see is what you get. So let me see what's going on. Hello, Mexie. Good to have you here, my dear. I saw you earlier. I've spent a lot of time at the think tank. Miss Frankie Rose was covering that horrible shooting in Burnsville, Minnesota. Sorry, my cat needs to learn how to shut the door behind himself. Anyway, Miss Frankie has been covering the shooting in Minnesota, where the two officers and the paramedic unfortunately lost their lives. So I've been spending a lot of time over there. So do please go check out the think tank for anybody who hasn't. Miss Frankie's great. The community is great, and she does a good job of covering stuff. So you can, as always, find her link in the main page of my channel. Scroll down to our visit our friends below section, and her link is there, along with most other channels that I'll mention during my live streams. Dandy's here. Hello, Miss Dandy. Oh, wait a minute. Where'd you go? There you are. Hey, Dandy. Good to have you here. And now you are speaking Spanish. I understand hola, amigas. I don't understand the second part. I didn't take Spanish in high school. But welcome to everybody that's here. So like I said, we're just going to, and for anybody that may come in, I'm gonna wait, try not to babble too much. Get down, hey, get down. Sorry, my cat is, don't you do it. My cat is trying to climb on the furniture. Get down, Tigger. Get down. Sorry, I'm having to discipline my cat on camera, but he'll be knocking stuff off. Tigger, get down. Anyway, so if you hear things crashing, my cat is running amok on the furniture and on the dresser. Anyway, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Dandy says me either. That's what Google told me. So I need to use the Google machine to learn some Spanish. I think that's what I need to do. If you don't get your tail down, get down. He is not listening to me, just like a kid, I swear. Anyway, yes. Maxie says Google really is your best friend. Yes. So me and the Google machine get along most of the time, for the most part. So I forgot, I lost my train of thought trying to make sure my cat doesn't destroy everything. So we're gonna talk a little. I got some updates on. Now I've already forgotten. People are gonna like leave this live stream, leave this replay. She sucks. Anyway, I have some updates on the Abraham Anzaldua. I shared him the other day as a wanted person. He was, I think I shared him as a wanted person, and then on I think my live stream last night, he had been captured and arrested and charged with first degree in the homicide of his own mother, and then he is a suspect or person of interest for a case here in Arkansas, a missing persons case. So I found that case or an article about it. I was going to share that with you. Some very interesting stuff that I didn't know because I was trying to figure out, because I hadn't really looked into that case until this Abraham character came up and said it was linked to this Arkansas case. So, and I was trying to figure out how it was linked. So, of course, I got on the Google machine, as I say, or as we say, and found out how the cases were linked. So, I just want to share that with you guys. I talk a little bit about the Audrii Cunningham, the missing little girl in Livingston, Texas. I think it's unfortunately became a recovery effort at this point. Hopefully, you know, we can always hold out hope. We never want to completely give up hope, but EquiSearch has been down there, and I think they had the person of interest down there. Maybe I think they had him down there yesterday. It was reported, maybe showing. I don't, you know, who knows? But anyway, they held a vigil for her, I believe, sometime today. Like I said, we'll talk a little bit about the Burnsville, that unfortunate, horrible, with the two police officers and the EMT, SWAT EMT personnel were lost their lives. And then I found an article about the. We also had the other day another with these incidents, as I call them. I don't want to say the shooting too much, that other S word too much, because I know YouTube will flag me. But the incident in Kansas City where they're having the parade and they have the knuckleheads that were shooting, and it killed or took the life of one person, injured many more physically and psychologically. Anybody else that was there is also going to be scarred, because I did have a family member by marriage who, her and her husband were at the Las Vegas incident that happened during the country music festival concert, or country music fest that happened in Las Vegas. And they still have scars from that, emotional scars. They were okay physically, thank goodness, although they basically had bullets that, you know, they could hear whizzing past their head and hit the concrete, but they made it out okay, thank goodness. But that was another horrible. And I usually don't cover a lot of these mass incidents, not because I don't care about them, but it always, which it needs to be talked about, but that's for other channels. It always brings out the politics and the debates and everything. And like I said, that's perfectly fine, but that's not what this channel is for. But I will cover the the victims, and we can fit anybody who wants to discuss anything. Just always be respectful of everybody's opinions. Everybody has a right to their opinion, of course, but just respect each other, respect everybody involved in anything we talk about. Yeah, Dandy says my cousins and their children were at the Chiefs parade. They left before the commotion. Thank goodness. Yes, thank goodness. It is. I just could not imagine. I mean, I know we can't live our lives in fear and be afraid to go out to these, public gatherings, concerts, parades, anything, where a lot of people are gathered. But it's just, regardless if it's just, like I said, I think in this, the parade thing, it's just, I hate to call them knuckleheads, but they are. I mean, and two minors, teenagers that 2 or 3 that just got into an argument or whatever the case may be, and the first thing that they do, back in my day when I was younger, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, we settled, if we were going to fight, we settled stuff with our fists. We didn't automatically pull out a firearm and start, you know. So it's just craziness all around. Hey, Nanar, good to have you here. Yeah, this was kind of a last minute. I didn't know how many people would show up, but that's all right. Like I said, I had originally intended to do a video of it today, but with all the breaking news that kept happening, and then I got caught up in watching my other creators that I love to watch their breaking news stuff, and then Mr. Steve had a members only live, and True Crime Web. You can also find him in the link section. Chris at the Mob Crew earlier was covering the Audrii Cunningham. I was going to say Benjamin. Audrii Cunningham thing. So I was going back and forth between their lives and then trying to finish up my slideshow for tonight for this one. But at any rate, so as I always say, at any moment it could turn into a dumpster fire. But it's kind of a be a little bit loose, and then we won't say informal, but because I don't know if any of you got caught some or all of the live stream, my case of the week that I ended up doing last night because I couldn't do it Friday because the cell towers were down. That was a long and tedious and involved case. So tonight I want to kind of not lighten it up because things we're going to talk about are definitely not light subjects. But, after 2.5 hours last night of talking about the boys on the track case, and if anybody missed it, definitely go check it out. I don't know if anybody here, anybody watching replay has heard of it, but it's just the what I call the one incident, a little tip of an iceberg of a whole supposed or theorized conspiracy and cover up. But anyway, enough about that. Y'all guys can check that out. Yep, Dandy's on it. There is Mr. Steve and Mrs. Steve. True Crime Web, definitely check them out. Mr. Steve, I'm sure if y'all are here, y'all know who Mr. Steve is. Does great work along with Carolyn from NLR Secrets, Chris of the Mob Crew, everybody behind the scenes. They go out and Mr. Steve is former law enforcement. Carolyn is a very smart a geophysicist or some kind of scientist, some kind of ist. So they have a whole team behind the scenes that go out and help families free of charge. Help families look for their missing, work on cold cases, try to bring some closure, get some answers. And Mr. Steve was talking in his members only live today that they're and he had talked about it last week or week before last week, that they had presented some stuff to the DA and law enforcement, and things were happening, making progress. So I was very happy to hear that they're making, of course, we all understand he can talk about which cat, give any details right now, hopefully sometime down the road in the future. we can, know the story and what they did. But just thoughts, prayers, and good vibes go out to Mr. Steve and all that whole crew who goes out and works on these cases. Dan says she's making typos. I make typos all the time. Between typos and the autocorrect on my phone, it drives me crazy. And now on my laptop, since I've been working on the laptop, which I haven't worked on the laptop for years. So I'm getting back into the typing thing again. And of course, it's like riding a bike for me. Once you learn how to type, if you took typing, I don't even know if they teach typing anymore in school, but when I was in the school in the 70s and 80s, you took a typing class and learned how to type. So once you get back into it, but I still make mistakes because my fingers get ahead of my brain. Imagine that. Thank you, Mexi says she'll be watching that after this. Yes, like I said, it's about 2.5 hours. You may want to break it down into chunks. But yeah, and that one case, the Kevin Ives and Don Henry, the commonly known as the Boys on the Tracks case from here in Arkansas. That's just one case of a theorized and widely accepted cover-up conspiracy. But yeah, all you have to do, if you don't want to watch my video on it or any of the links where I got my sources from, all you have to do is go to the Google machine or YouTube and just put in Boys on the Tracks, and it will bring up a whole bukus of stuff, so you can pick and choose what you want to watch. Thank you, Dandy. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to do my shameless plugging. By the way, welcome everybody who's here, everybody who will be watching replay, hopefully. If this is your first time here, I cover missing persons, cold cases, some current true crime in the news, like we're going to talk a little bit about tonight. The missing persons and cold cases that I usually cover are lesser known cases. Not that I don't care about the cases that are getting the national attention, but like that's just it. They're getting attention from the news, from these other creators who are a lot better than I am at doing this. And there are all these cases, not just from here in Arkansas, but from everywhere, that don't get national attention, don't even get, unfortunately, local attention that they deserve. So I try to bring my little channel, my baby channel I got going, try to bring some more awareness to cases that don't get a lot of attention. So if that's your cup of tea, please do consider subscribing, like, share, comment. You guys know the drill. If you're here on YouTube, you know what to do if you wish to do so. For small channels like mine, like, shares, comments help push out this information to as many people as possible. You can also find me on Facebook. I have a Facebook group and a Facebook page. I do put stuff, which I gotta get over there and get the page and the group updated. I haven't done it in a few days. I do put stuff in the group and on the page that I don't put here on YouTube. And in the group, we can have, it's a private group, so we can have a little bit more discussions and let our opinions be known a little bit more in a private group than in the YouTube setting. So check it out. If you ever have any questions or comments about anything, any of my videos that you've watched or live streams, please don't hesitate to. Either you can email me, you can leave a comment. If you have a case that is near to your heart, maybe it involves somebody that you know, a family member, a friend, if it happened in your hometown, your home state, anything that's dear to your heart and you don't think it's getting enough attention, or you just want it featured to bring more awareness, email me the details, the victim's name, the state it's from, anything that you have. I will do my research on it and do my best to do a video or a live stream on it and bring some more awareness to it for you. That is what I'm here for. I think Dandy's put most of my, if you would like to help support the channel and the search for the missing, I have a Buy Me a Coffee account, a PayPal Me account, Southern Gal True Crime merch. All the links you can find in the About section. I think Dandy's been putting a lot of them in comments. So check that out. I don't think we need any trigger warning adult content. But if we do, I will put the banner up. Let me take this one down before I forget, or it'll stay up there forever. All right, before I babble some more. Yes, Nan says, I took typing in high school to prepare for college. It's probably called keyboarding now, but I use one finger on my phone these days. I cannot even use my fat little fingers. I have to use a stylus now. When I try to type stuff in on the little keyboard on my phone. So yeah, I feel you, Nan. But yeah, I took like I said, back in the early mid 80s. I graduated in 89, but in high school I took typing, and I think I took what is it called when you do the court recording before they do it with the mouth now? But I had to take that too. And the shorthand. I wasn't too good in the shorthand and taking the dictation on that little machine thing. But oh goodness. Oh goodness, I'm gonna be fixing to go into a dumpster fire. My second self disappeared. But anyway, yeah, I feel you. I've had to get used to learning how to type again. Sorry, I'm trying to get my second self back in the studio. Yeah, okay, so let's see what we got going on. What I've missed. Hey, D-Diz. I want to say D-Diz. Di. Hey, Di. Good to have you here. Listen again while taking a shower. Hey, I'll take what I can get. Good to have you here. Junior is here. Junior, did you finally figure out which state you're in? Because earlier in Mr. Steve's members only, Junior said that he couldn't remember what state he was in. So apparently he's remembered because he says hello from Kentucky. He's got to be in either Kentucky or Michigan, because I'm pretty sure he's from Michigan, but I think he's traveling. I think he said earlier back and forth or to Kentucky to help take care of a family member, or grandfather, or father. So safe travels, Junior. All right, let's see what we got going on. We're already 20 minutes in. I haven't even started anything, but that's okay. Like I said, with these impromptu last minute things, just going over some news, we can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Yes, stenography. Yeah, we have the little machine that court reporters, whatever they call them, use the little thing to record all the dialogue and everything that happens. I think nowadays, though, I think more whenever I watch court proceedings, they have something that they hold over their mouth, maybe that they're speaking into that translates it. I don't know. I could be completely wrong, but yeah, I didn't do so well in the stenography and the shorthand. I did really good in typing. Maxie says, I would have lost my Spanish too if it wasn't for my job. I'll be listening, playing games. We still had a required typing classes in early 2000s. Yeah. Yeah, I think no, I'm getting my brothers and my nieces and nephews mixed up about when they were in school. Because both my brothers graduated way before the 2000s. But Dandy says I'm a keyboard pecker. I got you. Like I say, typing is the one thing I can still do. I likened it earlier to it's like riding a bike. Once you learn, you never forget. Now I could probably do better at typing now than riding a bike, because it's been years since I've attempted to get on a bike. I need to get on a bike more because sorry, I think my second self is fixing to poop out on me again. Oh, there we go. Okay. Junior. We love you, Junior. You and Dave, Junior and Dave are always the troublemakers. I'm telling you. Dave was in y'all were in Mr. Steve's members live, or Dave was trying to cause trouble talking about Waffle House coffee, or what was it, a Waffle House coffee compared to Cop coffee. And of course, you know, it always devolves into thank you, Canine Dream Dog. It's been a while since I've seen you. Thank you to for dropping in. Says thanks for everything you do. You are awesome. No, you guys are awesome. I could not do this without everybody who comes to these, listens to me babble on these lives and watches my videos. But thank you very much for being here. Thank you much, everybody that's here and who will watch replay. Very much appreciated. And Canine Dream Dog, I think, are you from, if you don't mind saying where you're from, I want to make sure that you're who I think you are, because I have a lot of, I've seen a lot of different names with dogs and canine. I think you are the one I'm thinking about, though. Oh, G's in the house. Hey, Michigan Wifey. She says she fell asleep waiting on this. You'll probably fall asleep watching it too. I'm gonna bore everybody to. Maybe I should do, what is it called, those ASMR things, where because everybody says they love my southern accent. I could start doing those ASMR videos and put everybody to sleep, which I probably do anyway. Anybody that's watching my lives will listen to me babble. Nan says, I've seen that speaking into the mouth thingy. Nan uses my kind of words, the thingy. I knew someone years ago who transcribed from those. Okay. Yep, I don't know. That's what I would call it too, is a mouth, speaking into the mouth thingy. I don't know what they're called. I've just seen them, been seeing them more recently on watching. I've been watching a lot of the Adam Montgomery, Harmony Montgomery trial on Miss Frankie on the think tanks. She's been doing live coverage of that. So, all right, before I babble anymore, I don't know if I have my slides in order. Like I said, we're just going to go over some things tonight. Audrii Cunningham, the Abraham Anzaldua, if I'm even pronouncing that right. Of course, the horrible incident in Burnsville and the KC. And then I got some, like I said earlier, some stuff that I've been sharing with you guys with some updates. So first, as always, we will start with our featured missing person of the night. This is Kimberly Garcia. She went missing from El Dorado, Arkansas on February 14th. She is 49 years old. Oh, once again, my phone is going to start. I forgot to adjust the settings. She's 49 years old, a white female, 5'3", 200 pounds, with dark blonde hair and blue eyes. She was last seen wearing a gray jacket and blue sweatpants when she left the Salvation Army on foot. And some additional information is it says that she left behind a medication that she needed daily. And she may try to make her way toward the Ruston or Monroe, Louisiana area. So anybody down here in these parts, Arkansas, Louisiana, if you happen to be watching or watching replay, please keep an eye out. Once again, that's Kimberly Garcia, missing from El Dorado, but could possibly be in the Ruston or Monroe, Louisiana area. So that is our missing person. Michigan Waffy says, my grandbaby loves ASMR. I know I need to check it because I have horrible insomnia. I try not to have to take anything to go to sleep. I usually just something over the counter. But I do have prescription, something to take prescription just in case over the counter doesn't work. But I need to try, sorry, I have to keep, my phone is messing with me. I might have to try that ASMR stuff. Last night I fell asleep listening to, and I did not intend to fall asleep, but after I got done with my live stream last night that I did, my case of the week, I got on Spotify and found, because it may have been I don't know who it was. Somebody that was in the live stream last night said that the True Crime Garage had done a podcast episodes about the case we were talking about last night. And so I started listening to the first, I think they did 2 episodes on it. And I started listening to the first episode, and next thing I know, I'm waking up and it's daylight outside. So that's what usually happens. All right, so let's see what we got going on. So that was our missing person, and I will put a link after the stream ends. When YouTube will let me edit, I will put a link to this missing information and all the sources, articles that I'm going to read from if they come up. Hopefully, my cell service will cooperate with me. So please, if you don't share anything else, please share the missing person. All right, so first, this is an Arkansas case, but it's just horrible, or well, this one's horrible. It's not the one I was thinking about, but so in January, officials, I'll just read you the story. Officials, actually, when officials, a lady was out walking her dog in the woods, stumbled upon human remains, skeletal remains, and sadly, I don't know if it's sadly or a good thing that's how a lot of missing persons cases or missing persons are found or remains are found, is just people stumble upon them and call the authorities. So that's what happened in this case. And this article is from the 15th of this month. And it says, on January 8th, deputies with the Cleburne County Sheriff's Office here in Arkansas confirmed the discovery of human remains at the Jim Cress Wildlife Management Area near Warren Mountain Road in Wilburn, Arkansas. And I'm not familiar. Wilburn must be either way south or way north or east or west of me in Arkansas, because I'm in central Arkansas. I have heard of Wilburn, but I don't know exactly where it's at. But at any rate, according to previous reports, a woman was exploring the area with her dog when she stumbled upon a partial human skeleton. Sorry, I'm swatting ads. The individual informed officials that before finding the skeleton, her dog had also located a firearm a short distance away from the remains. It is unknown at this time whether there is any connection between the firearm and the remains. The Cleburne County Sheriff's Office is seeking help from the public to try and identify the deceased individual. The skeleton was sent to the state crime lab for DNA and other testing, which revealed that it was a male, had a spinal surgery or a spinal fusion plate in the neck. So that would help maybe in the identification, trying to identify this person, because they go by teeth, any, like I say, plates, surgeries, when they're trying to identify these remains that are found. At least that's the way that I understand it. So if you're in the Arkansas area, if you know of anyone who may fit this description, you are urged to contact Detective Angelo Audrii at 501-362-8143 ASAP. So I just wanted to share that in case anybody in the Arkansas area was watching, because we need to get this individual identified, and so their family can be notified and get some closure. Dandy says that she listens to meditation music to sleep, gongs, can't talk, gongs, singing bowls, and chanting. The traffic is horrid here. Oh, I know. I live in the country, as I always say. It's not out in the boonies, but it's far enough out where we don't have to deal with. And I don't live in a big city. The town I live in is less than 2,000 population. but we live, 5 or so minute drive to get to town, as we call it. Country folks get to town. So we really don't have to, except on the weekends when the teenagers are out running up and down the gravel roads here with their trucks and loud music, which I shouldn't say anything because I did the same thing when I was a teenager. But I guess I've turned into a grumpy old person now. But, other than that, it's quiet here. The only neighbor we have close is my uncle lives right next door on the farm here on our land. And the next closest neighbor is down the road and around the corner. But I have noticed, I haven't done in a while, but when I used to go, I have my youngest brother and sister-in-law live in town. And I used to go stay at their house and spend the night with them a lot. And like I said, a small town, and they live in a quiet neighborhood, but I would hear every noise. You had the street light shining in, and I just couldn't sleep. I don't know. I knew Dandy says Cleburne County is above Conway. Gotcha. Definitely know where Conway is. Thank you, Dandy. I'm so ashamed of myself that I didn't know where some of these places are, but I'm sure you guys, a lot of places, depending on where you live in whatever state you live in, there's some places, cities, towns, especially if they're very small, you may not have heard of, or maybe it's just me. Thank you, Junior. Junior says I'm heading to bed. I got up with the chickens this morning. Good night, everyone. Thank you, Junior. Thanks for popping in and saying hi. Have a good sleep, good rest, sweet dreams. Yep, Daddy says sleep sweet, Junior. And Michigan Wifey, good night to Junior. Thank you, Junior. Always good to have Junior here. It's always good to have everybody here. Our little community we got. I love it, and it's growing slowly but surely. All right, let's see what we got next. Okay, so this is a really, really and when this story first broke, if I can talk, I just had a gut feeling. It turned out to be wrong. Thank goodness. Thank goodness on one hand, but bad on the other hand. But I had featured a missing 40-ish-year-old mother and her 4-year-old daughter that had gone missing from Little Rock. And then on how long has it been? Last week on the exit or either the exit or entrance ramps to one of the interstates that goes through Little Rock, they found the body of a mother. What they said at the time, a mother and a child. And my first thought that came into my head was, oh no, is it this? It was Tanjavana Davis was the little girl's name, and Tanya Scott was her mother's name. It was not them. But there still is. They still have not been found yet or heard from yet, unfortunately, either. But this is a horrible case. Thank goodness they have arrested. Like I said, this article is from the 16th, so a couple of days ago, from THV 11. Police arrest 2 people in North Little Rock, double homicide of a mother and an infant. So I probably should have put up trigger warning for this one. It's not graphic, but trigger warning. The North Little Rock Police Department says 2 people have been arrested in an investigation where they found 2 bodies near an interstate on-ramp. The North Little Rock Police Department has arrested 2 people in connection with the homicide of a woman and her child on February 13th. According to police, 43-year-old Willie Mott Jr., who you see on the left there, and his mother, 70-year-old Diane Mott, were arrested on multiple charges for the double homicide of 27-year-old Tangela Tate and her 2-month-old infant. And it probably says in this article, but they also found another child at the scene that was alive. As far as I know, that child is still in the hospital in critical condition. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. So additionally, police said a second child, an 18-month-old toddler, was also injured and remains in critical condition. Willie Mott Jr. was charged with 2 counts of capital M and 1 count of attempted capital M, while Diane Mott was charged with hindering apprehension and tampering with evidence. On Tuesday, North Little Rock police found Tate and her child deceased near the Interstate 440 on-ramp of Highway 165. Authorities launched an investigation where they learned that Tate had GSW, and this occurred at a residence off Jeff Davis Road in Jacksonville, which is not too far from North Little Rock. Police also learned that Willie Mott Jr. and Tate were in a relationship and did live together at the residence near Jeff Davis Road. He was also the father of the 2-month-old infant whose COD is, quote, they said, not being released at this time. Willie Mott Jr. and Diane Mott are being held at the Pulaski County Regional Detention Facility. North Little Rock Police urge anyone with information on the incident to contact them at 501-680-8439 or 501-771-7149. And the investigation is ongoing. So once again, a horrible, horrible case, but at least they, oh, thanks. Yeah, thank you, Dandy, put my adult content thing up there. Yes, Nan. Willie Mott, on the left there was the, what did I say, either the boyfriend or husband of the mother, the adult female that they found deceased, and he was the father of the 2-month-old infant that was found deceased. I think from local news reports I've seen on TV that he was not the father of the 18-month-old that was found alive. Now, I could be wrong, but I think that's what they said. But it's horrible nonetheless. Yes, Dandy says, good grief, why are people so unstable and angry? I know. It's, like I said today, or I had planned to do a video for this information, but just all this ugly stuff going on all this weekend, everything that's been going on, it's just, I was engrossed in it and trying to watch lives and keep up with news, and then so I just threw this together and, you know, put this together, and I said I didn't have a chance to record it, so I'll just do a live. And yes, Nan, very tragic. I'm like Dandy, I don't, and I'm sure everybody else, all us sane, rational people, I do not understand why, sorry, I don't understand why it has become, maybe it's because of the 24-hour news cycle when all that started, but it just seems like so much more these days people resort to violence and killing people instead of talking or working things out. It's just, I don't understand it. I do not understand it. So I feel y'all. All right, what we got next? Okay, this is Audrii Cunningham, and I don't know if there have been any updates in the last 2 or 3 hours or so. Probably not, because I think usually when because they're in Texas, so usually if they're doing what presumably is now a recovery, when it turns, sorry, my foot was itching. I had to scratch it. Usually when it gets dark, they call off the water searches. So anyway, but if anybody has any, but they did hold a vigil. Trouble's in the house. Hey, Dave. Al on the prowl is prowled in. He snuck in on me. I didn't see you. Good to have you here, Dave. You know, I like to give you a hard time, but just because we love you. And you were given, I said earlier, I don't know if you were here, that you were giving Mr. Steve a hard time in the members live earlier, talking about the coffee, the Waffle House coffee and the Cop coffee. It's always good to have Dave here. Yes. Dandy says if a person didn't require sleep, they could stream 24/7 on tragedies. It's terrible. Yeah. Yeah, because you've got CNN, you got Fox News, you got all the that's just on the satellite TV channels, and then you got all the streaming services that stream 24/7. Yeah, sometimes I have to make myself get off either YouTube or whatever I'm streaming of whatever, like you said, tragedy that's currently going on, and just make myself get away from it and sleep and give my brain a rest. But it's hard. So Dave says he doesn't know what to do with himself. Don't usually have Sunday night off. Well, I'm glad you decided to drop in and visit with us. Thank you so much. In all sincerity, Dave. Now, I give Dave a hard time, but he knows that I love him and appreciate him. And once again, go check out Dave. I know he won't do it himself, even though he has a wrench. So, Dandy or somebody, if you're still here, you can throw Dave's channel in there. Dave is modest. He won't throw it, but I'll do the same thing. If I have wrenches in other people's lives, and then, they're like me, I said, go ahead and throw your channel in. I don't care. And I don't like putting my own channel in. But anyway. Yes, Dave says, there it goes. Sorry, my computer's slow. Strange they're calling it a tragic accident. Are you talking about the Audrii Cunningham? Yeah. Just from everything I've read, and like I said, I watched no, that was a different story. I haven't really read a whole lot. I don't think there's been a whole lot of updates today. I think as far as last time I looked, they were still searching. EquiSearch was there, and but yeah, I definitely, in my opinion, this was no accident. In this article I'm going to read from, it has some quotes from the family members. But yeah, I don't, in my opinion, it's not an accident. And for the life of me, I do not know. And once again, I'm not blaming anybody, but I'd read and heard from watching other creators that the father, for some reason, the biological father did not want the biological mother to be anywhere near little Audrii, but yet he had this convicted child offender living under the same roof with him with his 11-year-old daughter. To me, that makes absolutely no sense. But like I said, I'm not blaming anybody, but it's just bad choices, people, bad choices. Thank you, Dave. You're awesome too, Dave. Everybody is awesome. Not just creators, the whole community. It takes all of us, not just creators. The creators and the communities have to work together. And for the most part, at least the communities that I stick to, which are the good ones, as I call them, the good ones. We all know what I'm talking, we're all in the good, all the good communities. So I have faith in everybody. But, oops. Oh, did it say incident? I don't even know what oh, I see, a tragic incident. Okay, I got you, Dave. I wasn't looking at my own slide. Yeah, it was a tragic incident, but like I said, in my opinion, it was homicide. So Dandy, as always, is on the ball. She says no updates on Audrii. Her poor mama's heart reminds me of Athena Strand. Yes, that. I think when I was watching Chris Mob Crew was doing, I watched a little bit of his before I was going back and forth between him and Mr. Steve, and that showed that interview with a mom that I've watched 20 times, and I tear up every time I see it. It's heartbreaking. Yep, there's Dave's link. Go check out Al on the Prowl. Dave does very good. Always has very good information, good stories. He brings attention to a lot of stories in the news that I have not A lot of them that I had never heard of until I either attend his lives when I can or watch replay. Dave does a very good job. Always has good people in his chat, good information, very sharp guy, good insight. Very good job. Yes, Dave says, I never once left my children at the bus stop, but I get it. Yeah, and I don't know, and I probably have missed it, how far away the bus stop was from the house or the apartment or wherever it was, whatever it was they were living in, how far away it was. Was it at the end of the driveway, at the end of the street? Because I grew up in the country where the buses ran what they call the rural routes, and they would stop at each house, or maybe if there was a couple, 2, 3 houses close together, the children from those 2 or 3 houses would gather in that place and then get on the bus. But for the most part, in the country, they would stop at each house. I know it's different in town, in cities or towns. The children may have to be either walk by themselves, depending on how old they are, or be taken to a certain place where the bus picks them up all at one place. But yeah, and I don't know if you guys have seen the text messages, and at first I thought they were between the mother and the roommate, this McDougal fella that has been arrested, not charged yet, because they haven't, still don't know technically, officially what happened to Audrii. But he was picked up on some kind of arrest warrants. At first I thought and I'm confused probably still on these text messages between the mom and either him or some other guy that was going to arrange some kind of secret meeting so that the mom could see Audrii without the father knowing it. Chris went over them in his live, and I had read them. One of the Facebook groups that has popped up for Audrii had screenshots of all. Very disturbing. But like I said, I'm still confused as to exactly who the mother was talking to arrange this secret meeting the day before Audrii disappeared. So, yes, Dandy says Athena is another Texas case, a FedEx driver that was, yes, I knew that name sounded familiar. Yes, horrible. And I think she was one, didn't she just disappear just like that? She was there 1 second, and then he supposedly pulled up and snatched her, and then they found her, I can't remember how far away they found her from where he took her from her home. If Dandy, if I'm even in the ballpark, if I'm thinking about the right case. But yeah, that's horrible. You can't trust anyone. Now, Dandy, hold on. Things are jumping. And Dandy says Charlotte is the little lady from New York. I missed something because I don't know what Charlotte. Dandy also says, I walked my child into the school. This mama don't play around. We're close to the school, though. Absolutely. Like I said, you can't. Unfortunately, in this world, you cannot be too careful. Oh, okay. So Dandy, as always, with all the information, says it was messages between McDougal, whatever his name, and mom. That's what I was thinking. But then somebody had said that it was between somebody else. But yeah, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. I didn't mean to take that down. In my opinion, and I don't remember who instigated the text messages, who messaged who first. But most definitely, if the McDougal, whatever his name is, character is the one who, it was his idea to set up this secret meeting for her to see Audrii. In my opinion, that would make me think that he was setting the mom up to take the fall for whatever has happened. Unfortunately, most likely has happened to Audrii. So yeah. And he was, like I said, he was a convicted child offender, and he was living under the same roof. Now, I'd also heard conflicting stories about because apparently he was the one that dropped her off supposedly was supposed to drop her off at the bus stop, although I think it says she never made it on the bus, unless I'm missing the bus completely again, confused again. And a couple of places that I heard or read said that it was usual. He was the one that usually took her to the bus stop. And then I'd read that it was unusual for him to take her to the bus stop. So I don't know. But at any rate, like I said, in my opinion, he either did it like he always did, or volunteered to take her to the bus stop that morning with no intention of leaving her at the bus stop. And unfortunately, whatever happened after that happened. But that's, like I said, once again, that's just my opinion. Oh, I had to read that 2 or 3 times. Dandy says, let's refer to him as SH for short for ish head. Got it. Yeah. Perfect, because he's a POS. If he's allegedly, well, no, he is a POS because he is a convicted child offender. Now, whether or not to be seen if he had anything to do with this case, like I said, my opinion, he does, but he's most definitely an S-head, POS, however you want to phrase it. I agree, Dandy, totally. But yeah, I was like, what is Dandy talking about down there? But anyway, my old eyes can't read. But I agree with you. Oh, my phone is driving me crazy. Okay, so I think I'm caught up in comments now. Oh, I haven't even read the story. Oh my goodness, I got get distracted and didn't even read the article. But that's okay. Okay, so Audrii Cunningham update, and this probably isn't the latest update. If it'll come up. There it goes. It's just being slow. Kind of like it's what? Almost spilled my drink. Okay, so this is from, where is it from? KHOU 11, which I'm assuming is a Houston-based news website, and it is from the 18th. It's today. It's still the 18th. I don't know what day it is anymore. From the 18th, from today, I believe, or yesterday. And it says, hurting the family, in quotes or whatever. Audrii Cunningham's family asked for social media speculation to stop after holding vigil for missing girl. We want her home, a representative for the family said. That this is a tragic incident, to say the least. Community members gathered for a prayer vigil Sunday as they searched for Audrii Cunningham, the missing 11-year-old girl, at the center of an Amber Alert continued. The vigil took place apparently at noon today at the VFW post in Polk County. Audrii loves the VFW and has spent many days making us laugh and learning to dance, the VFW said in a Facebook post. Our hearts are breaking. We love you, sweet girl. After the vigil, a representative for the family spoke to media and asked people on social media not to speculate on the search. I realize that everybody's talking a bunch of stuff on Facebook and stuff like that. I'm going to ask that if you don't know anything, don't say anything. All you're doing is hurting the family. And this is according to Chris Booth, who's apparently was speaking on behalf of the family. You don't know what they're going through. You don't know the circumstances. I do know Audrii is loved. I know Audrii is cared for. Don't have in what am I trying to say? I have no doubt that she was loved and cared for. No doubt at all. But In my opinion, some bad decisions were made. Bad situation. So this Chris Booth asked that if people know anything to keep submitting tips to the Polk County Sheriff's Office. We want her home, he said. Once again, he says this is a tragic incident. Audrii has been missing since not getting on her school bus Thursday morning, so she did not make it on the school bus. According to officials, while looking for her on Friday, investigators discovered a backpack that appeared to belong to a child, according to Texas Department of Public Safety spokesperson Craig Cummings. Search efforts were initially focused on a southern area of Lake Livingston on Friday, and Texas EquiSearch was seen looking for her in an area near I-59 and the Trinity River on Saturday. So I believe that's when supposedly they had the SH guy, as Dandy calls him. Maybe there was rumors that they had him out there, maybe pointing out places to look. I'm just going on that assumption, but I think that second area is where that supposedly occurred at. So the Polk County Sheriff's Office is offering a $7,000 reward for any information leading to an arrest in this case. On Saturday, DPS identified Don Stephen McDougal, aka SH, 42, among the persons of interest in the search for Audrii. Earlier that day, his vehicle, a dark blue Chevy Suburban, was also identified as what DPS called a vehicle of interest. Go past that picture of him. McDougal was arrested and booked into the Polk County jail late Friday night on unrelated aggravated assault with a deadly weapon charges. Officials have the vehicle of interest in custody and believe it may be tied to Audrii's disappearance. If you've seen his vehicle in the past few days, you're asked to contact authorities. I think they said that they wanted people in certain areas of a neighborhood or like a little loop thing that goes around the lake to check their Ring doorbell cams, security cameras, to see if this vehicle was captured. I'm assuming between whatever time Thursday morning she disappeared up until now. So records show that McDougal does have a lengthy criminal history. In 2007, he was convicted of enticing a minor with intent out of Brazoria County. I'm assuming that's in Texas also. And as of right now, McDougal has not been named a suspect in this case, in Audrii's case, but person of interest. So that was maybe not the latest, but the latest article I'd come across earlier this afternoon about little Audrii. Just hope that they can, hope she can be found. Yep, Dandy's right as usual. Dandy says, I know the man being accused is not a good guy. His rap sheet is longer than I am tall. Bad decisions. Yep, that's what I'm saying. And I'm not saying that the father didn't care about his daughter, didn't love his daughter. I'm sure he's, heartbroken and just like the mom is, but I'm assuming because it also said, I believe, once again, if I'm remembering correctly, keeping my cases straight, that the grandmother, his mother, also lived there. So I don't know if it was his decision, her decision to have McDougal, SH, living there. But either way, somebody made some bad decisions. And this is what happens when bad decisions are made. But yeah, I have no doubt that her father loves her, cares about her, is frantic to find her and, beside himself. But makes you wonder, like we said, why some people make these decisions. Yes, exactly, Michigan Wifey. I wasn't going to say it, but Michigan Wifey said it for me. So Michigan Wifey says, so they want us to wait until they find that poor baby to voice our opinions on how she was fed to the wolves. Thank you. Exactly. I was thinking that when I first read that article, when I came across it, and while I was reading it again, what can you expect? Once again, I'm not shaming or blaming, but when you put it, the information is put out there that this person has this criminal history, and you had them living under your roof with your 11-year-old daughter, people are going to talk, and they're going to come to conclusions and opinions in their head. In this day and age of social media, nobody's afraid to put it out there. So I agree with you 100%, Michigan Wifey. And Dandy also says, if you post statements on social media and don't expect a response, you should get offline. Exactly. That's why I try to stay off social media. And the only social media I have is, I have my personal Facebook profile, or just to keep up with friends and family and I have a lot of friends and family that live out of state. Back when I was making jewelry, I did have an Instagram account to hawk my jewelry on. But other than that, I've never been on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now. Never been on TikTok. I do YouTube, but before I started doing a channel, before I got into watching the true crime stuff on here, I watched puppy and kitty videos and music videos, my 80s music videos. But other than that, I try to stay away from social media. Yes, I saw that. I think when Chris from the Mob Crew was doing his live, that he showed that video of Audrii doing a tattoo on someone. What did they put her through? Exactly. That, and I don't know wasn't it who was there? It was doing it on a male. I can't remember, was there, because I was multitasking. I was trying to watch and listen and get my slideshow together when the video was showing. But yeah, who does that? That is very bizarre. That's just not right. Not right at all, in my opinion. Well said, Dandy. Dandy says, love doesn't keep people alive. Common effing sense does. Exactly. And unfortunately, a lot of people these days apparently don't have common sense anymore. I don't. I don't. Come on. Well, hold on. I'll get to that one too. But Miss Waffy says, say it louder for the people in the back. Yeah, preach it. Preach it, sisters. All of you. Sisters, brothers, whoever's still here. Yeah, Dandy says, these cases anger me in a place I didn't know existed. People need to wake up. Absolutely. Wake up and smell the coffee. I'm going to put this up here. I can't read it out loud, but I love that, Michigan Wifey. Mick would not be walking on 2 feet if I had my way. I love that. I'm going to have to remember that. McDip-ish. I love it. Oh, y'all giving me some good stuff to work with. P9 New York, welcome, welcome. Good evening. Good to have you here. As always, good to have everybody here. Everybody who's here, everybody who hopefully watched the replay if they're not catching the live, because it was kind of a last minute thing. Welcome, P9. How are you doing this evening? Hope you're doing good. What? Now, Michigan Wifey is talking about arms. What did I miss? Michigan Wifey says, I don't think we know whose arm. Oh, you mean the tattoo video. Okay. I was scared me for a minute. I thought that an arm had been found somewhere. But I'm assuming you're talking about whose arm it is in the video that Audrii was tattooing. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. Mr. Dipstick. Yeah. Mr. I could think of so many. I would definitely get kicked off YouTube though if I started naming off all the, you're not late. As Mr. Steve always says, you're not late. You're fine. P9 says, sorry, I'm late. Was running errands. We'll have to catch up. Doing well. Thanks. Awesome. Glad you're doing well. Well, I hope everybody's doing well. I'm doing well. My mom's not doing so well right now. She's in bed sick right now. So I've been keeping an eye on her today, but told her I'm gonna make her go to the doctor tomorrow if she doesn't feel better. All right. I think I'm caught up on comments again. So we'll see what we got going next. Oh, so y'all get a little break. Oh, let me take that down so you can see. A little break from my talking for about 3 minutes. Just quickly, this is Brandy Hutchins is a case from Arkansas. I've had it in my queue in my notebook and browser history bookmarks to do, excuse me, sorry. Sorry about that. To do a video, missing person case of the week on the Brandy Hutchins case. She was a victim of a homicide 35 years ago. It's not been solved. They did find her. She was recovered shortly after her life was taken. But apparently there's some, and I've always heard these rumors that they knew or had a good idea of who did it. But it's like some professional or law enforcement says it's not what you know, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. And that this person who might be responsible for the death of Brandy Hutchins might also have been responsible for some other homicides and could possibly be a serial offender or a budding serial offender. So I came across this from the Brandy Hutchins, The Disposable Child, which her cousin, Brandy's cousin, started this. I think it's just it's a page. It's not a group. And I'll just read to you what it says. And this is from one day ago. It says, Brandy is not the only person whose life was cut short by this person. If these accounts are true, it means he is a serial offender and Brandy was likely his first victim. It also means if he were arrested and convicted 35 years ago, these other women they would still be alive today. And Michelle, which is Michelle, her last name just flew out of my head, is another one, supposed or suspected victims of maybe the same person who might be responsible for Brandy's death. So Michelle's children would not have had to grow up without their mother. In spite of all that, I'm happy to report that the podcast I referred to last week, and I went back and checked, she did not name the podcast, but the podcast I referred to last week has some very strong ties to a very popular investigative television reporter, I'm assuming here in Arkansas. I could be wrong. As soon as the podcast airs, I will link it here. I'm so excited about it and very thankful that I have been given this chance to share Brandy's story in hopes that justice will soon be served. And she says, all I can say is if you know anything, now would be a good time to come forward, meaning if you know anything about Brandy's case, her homicide, you better come forward and give your side of the story. And it says, if you keep waiting, the charges you might have to face could be worse. She goes on to say, I also am so thankful for each and every one of you that follow this page and share it. And I will put a link to this page in the description box. We now have over 3,000 followers, and I know that each of you are anxiously awaiting the day that I can post that an arrest has been made. I pray for that every day. Let's also pray for Michelle's children. Trent has some pretty horrible memories that no one should have. So I do have about a 3-minute video. That way I can mute my camera and get me a drink and take care of some business. About a 3-minute or so video that kind of will explain Brandy's case. So let me take that down. And I don't think I need to put, I'll go ahead and put it up. I'll put my banner up. It's not graphic, but, so I will be back, hopefully. I'm back. Hold on. I hit the wrong button. I wanted to, oh, I'm doing the wrong. Hold on. Bear with me. Bear with me. Technical difficulties. I want to, okay, so I'm going to stop my cam and mute myself while this video is playing, but I will be back, hopefully.
A whole bunch of stuff rolled up into one ball. She was very sweet.
Brandy Dawn Hutchins had just turned 14 years old.
Bubbly. She never met a stranger, ever. She was very giving and generous.
Brandy's cousin Julie Millard describes her as a sweetheart who cared for everyone. That's Brandy on the right and Julie on the left.
She was happy all the time. I mean, she's always had a smile on her face.
But her cousin says she could also act out.
Brandy also was very troubled and had behavior problems and didn't have a real stable home life.
According to her cousin, Brandy wanted to have a sense of belonging.
I think she would have went anywhere and done anything just to be accepted and loved, you know, which I think is probably what ultimately got her into so much trouble.
Just a week after her 14th birthday, Brandy was dropped off in Coal Hill. She told family her friends were throwing her a birthday party. It was the last time she was seen alive.
I can't find anybody that will vouch that there was actually a party. I think she was either set up, because there was a note, like a Post-it note, that said, "Meet me at the old house."
2 hunters eventually found Brandy's body in an abandoned house with a gunshot wound to the head.
I just lost it. I couldn't imagine, you know, and of course the first thing you ask is why and who.
And now, 35 years later, Julie is still asking the same question.
The sheriff at the time even said, you know, that he regrets it because he knows that there were things that were done wrong.
And you try to do everything you can to bring it to a resolution, and it just sometimes is aggravating to get.
Was a Johnson County deputy at the time, eventually becoming sheriff about 10 years after the murder.
It just sticks in your craw. There's probably not a day goes by that you'll see something that reminds you of it.
He says the longer this case drags out, the harder it will be to get it solved.
As time goes by, people forget. Every day that goes by, it makes this case and others that linger around across the state and the country harder to bring to a resolution.
But Julie says this case has gone on long enough and needs to be solved right now.
A killer is walking around thinking he got away, or she, or they got away with murder, you know, and may have done it again.
Julie has set up a Facebook page called Brandy Hutchins, the Disposable Child, with the hopes that someone who knows something will get in touch with her. Until that happens, she says she will not give up her effort to find Brandy's killer.
I want somebody to talk, finally, to say it's gone on long enough, this family is hurting, you know, Brandy deserves justice.
Okay, I'm back. I think I'm back. So that was just a brief, take that down. Yep, full screen so I can see what I'm doing. Oh, and my slides are all out of whack. Okay, so that was just briefly what happened to Brandy Hutchins 35 years ago. So I was very intrigued when I came across this post on the, and please do go check out, if you're interested in this case, check out this page. But I was very intrigued when it said they're going to have either one or two big time podcasters were going to cover this case. So when the cousin, which the lady that was in the video talking is Brandy's cousin, the one that runs this page, whenever she puts a link to the podcast, whenever it airs, I will put a link to it either on my community page or in a video or a live, so y'all can check it out if you're interested. So this case, and this is one of the cases that I really want to do a full video on as a case of the week, but really all that information that was in the video, that's all the information I have on Brandy's case. Now I probably, if I do a case of the week on it, I'll do the information that we do have on Brandy's case and then research these other, the Michelle, and I still can't think of the last name. I've heard it, obviously. Find out what other cases they're talking about that could possibly be all linked together by the same offender. So once again, let me get caught up in comments. Oh, thank you, Tandy. Dandy says prayers for Grammy Southern gal. Yeah, she's not feeling. She's had fever and a headache and a upset stomach and just a whole bunch of stuff going on. So, yeah, I told her I was going to make her go to the doctor. I think she's ready to go to the doctor. She went the other day for something else, but don't know what's going on with her. But I will get her checked out. So, thank you, Dandy. Okay, yeah, Michigan Wifey says yes to the tat. Yeah, they just caught me off guard when you said I just was skimming through the comments and said don't know who the arm belongs to. I was like, wait, did somebody find an arm somewhere? And one thing, if anybody that was watching or will watch the Boys on the Track case, the Kevin Ives and Don Henry case, that get a little bit, I probably should put trigger warning up again, but talking about body parts, anybody who's not familiar with this case, they were, in my opinion, and the general consensus, that they were already deceased, placed on the tracks. They were run over by a train, and we all can imagine what happens when a human body gets run over by a train. But with their law enforcement, who was responsible for doing their thorough investigation and collecting of all the evidence, apparently left behind, didn't notice one of the boys' feet, because, like I said, without trying to get too graphic, one of their feet was left out there when they were collecting the evidence. So tell me how that happens if it was a thorough investigation. But anyway, I'll try not to be going to the dark side a little bit with that, but that just blew my mind when I came across that bit of information. Yes, P9 says she should go get checked out, especially being older. Yep, most definitely. She's going to. Thank you, Michigan Wifey. Yep. She's been in bed all day. I've been checking on her. I brought her some, she drinks Sprite, and so I've been keeping my eye on her and letting her sleep, peeping in on her, make sure she's still breathing. She's doing all right. I think I heard her moving around in the bedroom across the hall just a while ago. So thank you for all the well wishes. Oh yeah, Dandy, I remember you said earlier in one of the lives we're in that you're going to the hot springs while it was snowing. Absolutely beautiful day. That sounds wonderful. We have actual hot springs in Hot Springs, Arkansas, hence the name. They have what they call Bathhouse Row in Hot Springs. You can, a lot of people go get the spring water. They say it has healing qualities. To me, I've tasted it. It tastes horrible. Yeah, if it helps with whatever is ailing somebody, you know. So I hope you had fun at the hot springs. Yeah, there's my Discord. That's another thing that I was going to do today too, is update, put some more stuff on my Discord. But once again, I got caught up in everything that's been going on this weekend in the news. And but yeah, definitely go join my Discord. Dave's going to go get some coffee. We'll be listening in the car. All right, Dave, be careful driving. As always tell you that. Be careful driving. Anybody out there driving. Yep. Dandy also says drive safe. Trying to get caught up. Yes, me too, Dandy. Dandy says, I grew up in the 80s, 90s. I can't imagine where I'd have ended up had I grown up 10 years later. Exactly. When I was, like you said, a teenager, young adult, I was in the 80s and late 80s, early 90s. We were allowed to, of course, like I said, I live in a town under 2,000. Small little country rural town, but we were allowed to stay out in town. You know, I always lived out here on the farm on our land, but I would go stay with friends in town, and we were allowed to wander the town till all hours of the night. We didn't never worried about anybody's, you know, any bad things going on. Different time, unfortunately. Oh, maybe she did P9's Discord. At any rate, yeah, Dandy or whoever has a wrench. I know Dandy's got a wrench. You can put in any Discord, any channels, any links you want to put in. Or anybody here who has a channel or a Discord channel or whatever, go right ahead. Yep, and P9 says, growing up in the 80s, we were able to run around and now worry and not, I'm assuming you meant not worry as much about people as you do now. Exactly. I was the same way, Dandy. Dandy says I was feral in the 80s, carefree. It was a great time. Absolutely. I'm there with you, sister. I'm assuming we're about the same age then. I'm 52. I won't ask you, you know, I never ask anybody how old they are, but if you want to volunteer. But yeah, the 80s were great. I love growing up or being a young adult. Because I graduated in 89. So being a teenager, young adult into the late 80s into the early 90s, I was into all the 80s stuff, the hair bands, you know, I had hair up to here, contributed to the depletion of the ozone layer with all the Aquanet I used back in the day. And then in the 90s, early to middle 90s when the grunge came along, I still listened to the 80s stuff, but then I got into the Pearl Jam and Soundgarden and all the Alice in Chains and all that grunge alternative stuff. Still love it. That's all. I listen to all kinds of music, but my go-tos are 80s hair bands and 90s grunge. So Dave is in the car. It's good to know you're still in the car. You're not letting the owls drive, are you, Dave? Yep. P9 says, I was in high school in the 80s, way too much partying and running the streets. I was right there with you. Because I did more drinking. I probably started drinking on a regular, but well, not like alcoholic basis. Social drinking, teenage drinking probably started when I was 14, 15. And by the time I turned 21, I was so tired of it. I was like, I don't, you know, usually 21, you can drink now legally. And by the time I turned 21, I drank so much in my teens that I didn't want to have anything to do with it anymore. So I stopped for a while. And then my late 20s, early to mid 30s, I started drinking some again. I say some, sometimes a lot. But by the time when I hit 40, I was like, I'm getting too old now to deal with the hangovers and all the, can't do it anymore. So then I cut back to, I would maybe have I'd have a drink or two on my birthday, a drink or two on New Year's Eve, and that was it. And I really don't even do that anymore. A couple weekends ago, when I went down to Shreveport, Bossier City to a little Mardi Gras parade event, I had one frozen strawberry. It was supposed to have been a daiquiri because I can handle rum better than I can tequila, but apparently they made it a margarita instead of a daiquiri. So the tequila, I was ready to go back to the motel and crash, but we ended up going across because the motel we were staying in was shared a parking lot with Louisiana Downs horse racing track. So we went over after we went to the Mardi Gras parade. We went over to a Mexican restaurant to eat, and then we walked over to the casino. And I'm not much into the casino, but there was a live band playing. So if there's a live band playing anywhere, this girl's gonna find it. So while they were playing the slots, I was over jamming with the band. Very good band. They played classic rock and 80s, which now apparently 80s and 90s is considered classic rock. But they were playing some good stuff, so I enjoyed it immensely. P9 says we lived in the New York City Bronx, and we all lived in on one street where everyone knew everyone. Yeah, see, that's kind of the way it was living in a small town back in the 80s. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody knows who your family tree is, knows who your siblings are, your parents, your grandparents, great-grandparents. So you couldn't get away with anything. I mean, I would even go the next town over. And because my dad grew up in the next town over, and that's where my mom met my dad, so everybody over there knew who I was. So I couldn't even go, a town over and get away with anything. So, but I got away with some stuff. I made it through, though. Luckily, we all made it through it. P9 says we graduated at the same time. Yep, I graduated high school in 1989. Long time ago. See, and to me, the 80s and even the 90s are, like 10 years ago. When I stop and think they're over 30 years ago now, I'm just, it makes me feel so old. Cool. P9 says used to do a lot of freestyle, going to the clubs on the 90s, did some DJing. That is awesome. I love music. I like to say, if I had to narrow it down, my three main passions, in no particular order, are movies, music, and true crime. So that's me in a nutshell. So yeah, I get the music thing. I love the music. If I'm not talking about or watching stuff about true crime, it's either I'm watching a movie or listening to some kind of music or music documentary or something. So I got you. All right, I think I'm caught up once again. So we will see. Okay, so this is Abraham, and I still don't know if I'm pronouncing this name right, Anzaldua. I featured him, and let me find the article, we'll get it going. I featured him as a wanted person the other day because I usually always feature missing persons, but I want to start doing more wanted people because that's just as important as featuring missing people is featuring wanted people to try to get some of these bad guys or bad gals off the street. So I featured Abraham Anzaldua. He was wanted out of Garland County, which is in Arkansas. And I believe he was also wanted somewhere in Texas, too. And, sorry, I'm trying to babble and kill time. Wait, hopefully the story will load. He was wanted in connection with a fire and the death of an elderly woman who turned out to be his mother. He has since been captured, arrested, charged with the homicide of his own mother. And oh, come on, nothing's loading. And he is also wanted for questioning in connection to an Arkansas missing person. And I went and there we go, did some research to see how he was connected to this Arkansas missing person. So first, no, okay, so first we'll talk about his arrest. So this comes from KRIS TV. I'm assuming Corpus Christi, I'm assuming a local news website. CCPD releases details involving a homicide of elderly woman killed in her South Side home. And this is from the February 16th. So, trigger warning. I'll try not to be too, as I don't think it's too graphic, I remember, but trigger warning. It says details of injuries included in this article. It's not bad, but just forewarned. So new details have emerged in the case of a Corpus Christi man accused of taking the life of his 67-year-old mother. 48-year-old Abraham Anzaldua was arrested Thursday night after someone spotted him getting fuel in Odom, which I believe is in Texas, and contacted the San Patricio County Sheriff's Department. Moments later, another caller spotted him heading towards Sinton. San Patricio County deputies pulled him over just south of Sinton. U.S. Marshals took him into custody for the homicide of his mother, 67-year-old Mary Alice Anzaldua. And this is where it gets into a little bit of the description of what happened. Her body was found Monday afternoon after a house fire at her residence in Corpus Christi, Texas. On Friday morning, Anzaldua appeared before a magistrate judge. He was charged with capital M and possession of a controlled substance. On Friday afternoon, KRIS News obtained court documents in the case. According to the documents, neighbors heard a loud bang around 2:45 p.m. Soon after, contractors working on a nearby home noticed flames coming out of the house, and they put it out as best they could until the Corpus Christi fire department arrived. The contractor said a laundry basket full of clothes was in front of the door that led to the house, and it was on fire. According to the report, arson investigators found there were 3 points of the fire's origin, which was the garage, the kitchen, and the living room. Shortly after firefighters extinguished the blaze, they entered the home. Sorry, it's jumping. Ads are popping up. They entered the home and breached a locked bedroom door. When Corpus Christi police officers arrived, firefighters told them there was a woman deceased from a possible GSW in the back bedroom of the house. Officers said they found Mary Alice with head and facial trauma. Several officers were also able to find surveillance video from a nearby home showing a dark-colored Chevy pickup truck leaving the driveway of Mary Alice's house. Detectives at the scene interviewed a family member who verified that Abraham Anzaldua lived in the house with his mother. They said Anzaldua had been, quote, using meth over the last few months, but it has been particularly bad this past week as his paranoia was very high. He has been talking to the walls and claiming the government was following him and that people are after him. The family member also told detectives that Mary Alice was ready to kick him out of the house due to his erratic behavior and substance use, but she never got around to it, unfortunately. The Nueces County, I don't know if I pronounced that right, ME's office is still investigating at this time and have not ruled an official COD. And Anzaldua remains in the Nueces, it's Nueces, Nueces County Jail, and his bond has been set at $501,000. And it says this is a developing story and they will keep us updated. So that is the original, or he has been arrested, and fortunately he is off the street. He's been arrested, charged, like I said, with the homicide of his own mother. Yeah, but it sounds like if he was talking to the walls, or the walls were talking to him, and he thought people were following him and the government was after him, yeah, he was on some bad stuff. Absolutely. Dandy says, what happened to the Scared Straight program? Seems like substances is a main ingredient in crimes. I know, the more all these stories lately is, because I usually stick to these are all involve homicide, but like I don't know how to put it, the missing person, the homicides that are, you don't know what happened, and, things like that, the mysteries. But more and more, when I'm looking for stories and cases to research and bring to you guys, everything is involving substances these days. Is out of control. I think I'm still caught. Yeah, P9 agrees. Says so true, Dandy. Absolutely. Okay, so the second part of this, on the left there, and I'm gonna butcher this name so bad. Danijel, Jaskovic. That's what I'm gonna go with. This is the missing person from Arkansas. And I'm gonna apologize, I'm gonna have to lean in close because I have to read this on the screen. He went missing from Lake Hamilton, Arkansas. He was 43 years old, 6'2", 200 pounds. He was a carpenter, a devoted father. And I can't remember, I know it'll give in the article, hopefully, when he exactly went missing. It's been a couple of years. So if you have happen to have any information on this case, you can contact the Garland County Sheriff's Office at 501-622-3660. So I was wondering how this Arkansas case was connected to Abraham Anzaldua while he was wanted in Arkansas. And let me go back because there was something in, apparently, so looking at the right side of this slide, the blue part. Apparently, Garland County, which, unless there's a Garland County, Texas, which there may be, either way, Texas or Arkansas, Garland County, it says, why did you let him go? It says Abraham was also the last person to see Danijel Jaskovic, I'm butchering the name, before his disappearance in 2000, that is so small I can't read it, 18 or 19, in Garland County. So Garland County, Arkansas, I'm assuming. So apparently Garland County officials, or for some reason, I'm sure they have, it may have been beyond their control, but apparently Garland County let him go for some reason for other charges, and he was out on the loose and wreaking havoc. Like I said, I'm gonna have to look into this some more and research this. But we'll go back to I'm just gonna call him Danny or Dan, because I don't want to butcher his name. I feel so bad because I can't. So how the Arkansas case on the left is connected to Abraham Anzaldua. Apparently, Dan, when he disappeared, had just cashed his check. When he apparently went to go see this Abraham Anzaldua in 2018. Dan would never be seen again, and his truck was stolen by Abraham and Jacob Anzaldua. So I don't know if Jacob is Abraham's brother or somehow. So that is how the two are connected. So like I said, I'm going to do, now that I've found out how they're connected, I'm going to do more research, most definitely on this, and see what I can dig up. All right, so let me find the article about Dan's disappearance. Hopefully it'll come up. Oh, goodness. Ooh, it's been almost 2 hours. We're almost done, guys, I promise. Oh, we got 9 people here. That's good for me. Thank you, everybody who's here, who's sticking around. Appreciate everybody who's here. Once again, while I'm waiting for my computer screen to load. Thank you to everybody who is here and chat, watching, lurking, who's watching on replay. Very much appreciated. Okay, so this is from katv.com, which is one of our local news station websites. And this article is from April of 2022. And it says Garland County man still missing after 4 years. So it'll be 6 years now. Family is asking for help. The search continues for, once again, I'm going to butcher his name, Danijel, Jaskovic, a Garland County man who went missing nearly 6 years ago now. 6 years ago. He was a great guy. He was a hard worker. He loved his family. He was a funny guy, said his former wife, Monica. The last time she spoke to Dan on April 22nd, 2018, she said it was about 9 o'clock that night and then never heard from him again. So I don't know if it was over the phone, but they were talking. Monica says red flags started to appear when he never showed up for his son's baseball practice. So she called police and a startling discovery was made not long after. Monica said they found his truck off of Old Tabor Road in Glenwood, and it was vandalized and it was totaled. His license plate and some things inside were burned. So once again, we have burning. We know that this Abraham Anzaldua allegedly was the one who set fire to his mother's house, and now we have this truck or things inside this truck that were burned. So a little bit of a connection there, or similarity. Even though it has been years since he went missing, Monica has not stopped trying to find answers. No one has been arrested. Sorry, ads are popping up and it's jumping again. No one has been arrested or charged, but she says she knows someone is hiding vital information. There's got to be good people in this world. I know there are, she said. I have hope that God will bring all of this to light. While there is hope that he will be found, Monica says Dan got mixed up into the wrong crowd and strongly believes that he is no longer alive. She added there would be nothing that would keep him from his kids except for being in heaven with Jesus. However, she doesn't care. She says she doesn't care if anyone gets charged with a crime. All she wants is closure. Absolutely, that's what most of these families want. Closure, answers. You have to know. She says, I just want to know where his body is. So if you're in the Arkansas area or anywhere around, and please, if you don't share anything else, share this. If you have any information on Danijel's or Dan's case, disappearance, you're asked to call the Garland County Sheriff's Office at 501-622-3660. So that is the information on the disappearance of Dan, because I feel so bad for butchering his name. All right, let me get caught up. Yeah, Danny said a lot of people start getting into trouble at a young age, and it is a progression. Absolutely. E9 says the violence starts at young ages, the partying, and the violence intensifies with the substance use. Yep. So P9 asked, so they are related. Are you talking about these two cases or the persons involved? As if you're asking if Dan, as I'm going to call him, because I feel so bad I can't pronounce his name right. Dan is not related that I know of, that it said, to Abraham, but they think his disappearance, there is a connection between him and Abraham. And please correct me if I'm totally misunderstanding your question. Apparently the day, either the day before, the day of, Dan from Arkansas, the Arkansas case, when he went missing, he had just got a check cash and he went to go see, for some reason, I have a guess at a reason that he might be going to see. Apparently he went to see this Abraham Anzaldua, just going off what his wife said about he was hanging out with the wrong crowd. I'm just going to speculate. I usually don't like to speculate. I would speculate that maybe if he was doing some kind of substance, that maybe this Abraham Anzaldua character, he maybe been going to buy. No, I don't know. I'm just, like I said, speculating just from the information. From what his wife said, that he was with the wrong crowd making some bad choices. It could have to do, once again, with substances. And this Abraham is a very bad fella. Anybody who would take the life of their own mother wouldn't think twice about taking the life of someone that they just maybe just acquainted with. But yeah, so he went to visit this Abraham, and then his truck, Dan's truck, was stolen by Abraham and Jacob Anzaldua. I'm assuming they're brothers or kin somehow. And Dan was never seen again. So that's how they connected or suspect that Abraham possibly, most likely, had something to do with the disappearance of Dan. I hope that is what you meant after I went through all that. I know that's probably a long answer for a simple question, but Dandy says there's another pic of him on Facebook. He looks healthier. Are you talking about Dan? I'm behind again as usual. Yeah, this picture they had, and this is not. I just wanted to get a missing poster of him. Yeah, but there were some better pictures of Dan where, yeah, he did look. If you're talking about Dandy, he did look, as you say, healthier. But this was the best. There was the other missing poster they had of him was all pixely, and I didn't want to use it. And this one wasn't a whole lot better, but it was a little bit better. And I thought I had maybe I didn't use it. I thought I had a picture of him with his wife, but I think I changed. Excuse me, I think I switched that pic out for the missing poster. But yeah, so I'm gonna have to. Sorry, I didn't realize I was waving my cup around. I'm gonna have to dig in, get on the Google machine, and dig in and do some research on Dan. That might turn into one of my cases of the week, my missing persons. Dig deeper into this one. All right, I think. Oh, wait a minute. Can't get anything to work. Oh no, I thought I was caught up in comments. Oh yeah, good old Leslie Rutledge. Dandy says Arkansas Lieutenant Governor Leslie Rutledge posted it on Facebook. What are you talking about, Dandy? Did I miss something? The people. P9 says the people. I'm so confused right now. Are we still talking about Dan and then Abraham here, this case? Okay. P9 says I have it right. Hey, I got something right. Yeah. Dandy says if this picture is more recent, I guess it is D related. Yeah. Like I said, I don't know. I just snagged this off of off my phone, my Google search on my phone. I guess I need to start getting on my laptop and snagging all my articles and my pictures and saving them on my laptop to use. But I'm just so used to doing everything on my phone that I just pick up the phone to do everything. But yeah, I would agree, especially when, I never, like I said, I try not to ever make assumptions or speculations, but in the article, his wife did say that around the time he disappeared that he was hanging with the wrong crowd and making some bad decisions. So that would be my guess too, Dandy, is it was D-related. Like I said, I will research it some more and see what I can, if I can dig some other information up. And if you guys are interested in it, I'll give y'all some more information about it if there is any more information to be found. Most definitely. I'm here for you guys. Whatever you guys want me to do, I'll do. I couldn't do it if y'all weren't sitting here listening to me babble on. I wouldn't be able to do this. So I appreciate all you guys and gals. I always say guys. When I say guys, I mean guys and gals, ladies and gentlemen. Even Dave, I guess we'll consider Dave a gentleman. Dave's probably long gone, but we love Dave. I have to give Dave a hard time. All right, let me see what else we got. Okay, so we went over that. Okay, this is how long have we been on? 2 hours. We're doing good. It's Sunday night. It's okay. I know some of y'all probably might have to be going to bed here soon to get up and go to work tomorrow. But some of y'all are night owls like me. I know Dandy is sometimes, and I haven't seen. I saw Jocelyn earlier, or Jocelyn was in. Dave did a late night, early morning live last night, and Jocelyn was in there. Apparently, she's a night person too. She says she enjoys late night lives. I can do late night lives until I have to go back to work again, and then depending on if I'm on a day shift or a night shift, I'll have to adjust my live streaming and video schedule. Okay, so this is, I should have been getting the article loading while I was babbling. So this is the Kansas City incident that happened at the Super Bowl parade. Multiple victims, one deceased, and apparently she, among other things, more important things, she was apparently a local radio personality, DJ, there in Kansas City, Missouri, I'm assuming. Yeah, Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas. But at any rate, this is from People magazine, and it is from the 16th. And it says, Kansas City victim remembered as a very loving, caring, and devoted mother. Lisa Lopez Galvin was shot at the end of the Chiefs Super Bowl parade in Missouri on Wednesday. Lisa Lopez Galvin, the woman whose life was taken during Wednesday's mass incident at the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl parade, is being remembered for her role as a dedicated mother to her 2 children. On Thursday, Lopez Galvan's brother, Beto Lopez, paid tribute to his sister as he told CNN's Anderson Cooper she was, quote, a very loving, caring, and devoted mother. He says, we have tragic situations like this one that occur, unfortunately, way too often. Absolutely. And a lot of time, individuals get lost as just statistics or numbers. She did a lot for this community and the Kansas City area, raising money for a lot of charitable events and organizations, and it's something we'll be very proud of forever. Lopez Galvin her life was taken at the end of the Chiefs parade in Kansas City. The 43-year-old's friends confirmed her passing to the Kansas City Star this week. The publication reported that Lopez Galvin, a local radio DJ, had passed during surgery after suffering a GSW to her abdomen. According to CNN, Lopez Galvin was celebrating the Chiefs' Super Bowl win with family members, including her husband Mike, son Mark, and daughter Adriana, when she was fatally, her life was taken. 3 other family members, including her son Mark, were also injured in the shooting, per the publication. In a statement shared with CNN Thursday, Lopez Galvin's family said they were heartbroken at her death and described her as an amazing mother, wife, daughter, sister, aunt, cousin, and friend to so many. Lisa leaves behind her husband of 22 years, Mike, 2 children, Mark and Adriana. We ask to please keep our family in your prayers as we grieve the loss of Lisa's death, while also supporting our other loved ones who were impacted in this senseless act. Lopez Galvin's employer, KKFI 90.1 FM, also shared a statement on Facebook confirming Lisa's death. It is with sincere sadness and an extremely heavy and broken heart that we let our community know that KKFI DJ Lisa Lopez, host of Taste of Tejano, lost her life today in the incident at the KC Chiefs rally, the statement read. Our hearts and prayers are with her family. We encourage anyone who feels they saw something to reach out to law enforcement at 816-234-5111. This senseless act has taken a beautiful person from her family and this KC community. A GoFundMe page has been set up to help Lisa's family following her passing, with donations reaching over $174,000 as of Friday morning. On Friday, to $50,000 donations were made to the page under the name Taylor Swift, who we know was dating, or if you're a Kansas City Chiefs fan, is dating Travis Kelce, and attended the Super Bowl on Sunday, but was not present at the parade. Ads popping up again. Speaking at a press conference Thursday, Kansas City Police Chief Stacey Graves said the incident, which also injured 22 people, is believed to have stemmed from a dispute and was not domestic tea related. There was no nexus to, I don't know if I can say, I don't want to say the word tea. Y'all know what tea or homegrown violent extremism, Graves said. This appeared to be a dispute between, once again, resorting to violence. This appeared to be a dispute between several people that ended in gunfire. The age of the victims range from 8 to 47, and at least half of those injured were under 16 years old. At a press conference the previous day, Graves has said 3 people were detained and are, quote, under investigation for the incident. Following the incident, many Chiefs players involved in the parade spoke out about the incident on social media, sent prayers to the victims. I'm not going to read all of them. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, so all the Chiefs. And I think I read too that a lot of the players, because usually the players are riding on top of like a fire truck or some kind of vehicle. Andy Reid, the coach, was there. Of course, all the players, Andy Reid and a lot of the players helped shepherd people into safe places. So kudos to the guys for doing that. I'm a big Kansas City Chiefs fan. My number 1 team is the Bears, but they never make it anywhere close. But I love my Kansas City Chiefs. So kudos for the guys for doing the right thing and helping people get to safety. All right, I think that was the end of that. So let me see what we got going on. Okay. Oh, Dandy says she's got to mute out real quick to cover the parrots up. Parrots don't bother me. Okay, P9 says whatever it was, I answered it. Thank you. Okay, you're welcome. I'm glad I answered it. I think you're going back to the Anzaldua, Abraham Anzaldua case. Yeah. Uh-oh. Oh, Dave may have heard me talking about him. Dave's laughing. Welcome back, Dave. See how long you've been back for a few minutes now. Welcome back. Did you hear me talking about you? Were your ears burning? Oh, goodness. See, this is the kind of want. This is what I want. Dandy says I work from home and keep stoner hours. I wish I could find actually, my dream would be able to do this for a living, to be able to make enough money to support myself doing this. But I would really love, because I know there are let me get to these comments before I get off on a tangent. Or Dandy says prayers to her family, more kiddos left without a mama. Exactly. And like I said, I to keep from cursing and using bad words, knuckleheads that just, like I said, got into a dispute probably over something stupid and not worth. And the first thing that people do now is bring out the firearms. And I don't know any other words to to explain it, but it's craziness. Well, Dandy, apparently you're cloning yourself, because or it's Facebook or StreamYard has put your same comment in 3 times. That's okay. Oh, goodness. Dandy says that she had a head-on collision about 1.5 years ago. Rest has never been so elusive. Bless your heart, Dandy. I'm so sorry. I have a fear of, once again, contributes to my anxiety and antidepressant. But my dad, over 20 years ago now, was killed in a car accident. That's how he passed. And it terrifies me to have to drive. It terrifies me now when any of my family members or loved ones, if I know they're out on the roads driving, I just have that. And I know it's part of the anxiety and that depression and all that thing, the irrational fears that get into your head, that something horrible is going to happen to your loved ones. In my case, when they're out driving, those thoughts, you just can't get them out of your head. I'm so sorry. I'm glad you're okay from that, Dandy. P9 also says, horrible. Sorry. Yeah. But yeah. And I used, of course, as a teenager, when I got my driver's license, I would drive anywhere and everywhere as much as I could. And I hate to drive now. I absolutely hate it. Maybe it's just because I'm getting older and grumpier, and I get what I call my version of road rage, which is try not to honk the horn, but yelling and cussing in the car for people that drive stupid. Absolutely. Dandy says I get anxiety, something terrible now driving. I built a home office so I don't have to leave. So sorry, Dandy. I'm glad you have your home office. I think actually on your Discord, you showed me what your office looks like. Looks awesome, girlfriend. If that's what you were showing me. I know you were showing me something. I think you said it was your office. But yeah, anxiety is it's not fun. Not fun. I mean, in any kind of mental illness, mental things going on is not fun. But we deal with it and best we can. And I know there's and then I've have other reasons for my past, for my anxiety and issues that I have, but we get along, and I know there are people out there who far worse things have happened to them, but we do the best we can and keep going, one step at a time, one day at a time. Okay, so I think I have, if I remember to, I don't know if I bookmarked the might have to look up, I can't remember which article I used, but the Burnsville, Minnesota. I'm gonna have to look it up because I did not bookmark it for some reason. It's 2 police officers and one paramedic. I think they said he was actually on the SWAT team, but apparently the SWAT team brings he was a paramedic also. And I don't, cbsnews.com is where I got it from. Let's see if I can find the article. Yeah, there it is. Okay, I just forgot to bookmark it. Hopefully it'll come up. But yeah, this is another horrible situation. And I didn't know anything about this until I saw that when I got up this morning, Miss Frankie at the think tank was live with actually covering, which I had never seen before. They were, usually when a first responder, police officer, firefighter, paramedic, anything like that passes, especially in the line of duty, they do the honor parade and the honor run and all that with their funeral. But so that's why I was thinking that it was something I had missed and they were already having a funeral, but they were doing that for when they were transporting them from, I think it was from the hospital to the ME's office. And I'd never seen that done before. So that was kind of new to me. But anyway, so this is from CBS News. I promise this is the last one, guys, and I'll quit babbling. City identifies 2 officers, 1 paramedic, killed in Burnsville, Minnesota, which is a suburb of Minneapolis. And the offender is also deceased. 2 police officers and a paramedic were shot and killed in a Twin Cities suburb Sunday morning, authorities said, and the offender is also deceased. Superintendent Drew Evans with the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension said Burnsville police officers were called to a home at about 1:50 a.m. To 33rd Avenue and 126th Street, just west of the interstate. A suspect inside was reported to be armed, and several people were barricaded inside. And I remember this from watching Miss Frankie's live. 7 children ranging from the ages of 2 to 15 were in this house when this happened. Terrifying. Evans said law enforcement spent quite a bit of time negotiating with the individual, and paramedics came in for backup at about 5 a.m. Minutes later, dispatch ordered everyone to stay back after the suspect opened fire. Burnsville city officials identified the victims, and you see them there on the screen, on the slide. Identified the victims as officers Paul Elmstrand, Matthew Ruge, and firefighter paramedic Adam Finseth. Sergeant Adam Medlicott with BPD was also shot, but he is expected to survive. The suspect, who has not been identified, was reported deceased at around 8 a.m., and the family members in the home made it out safely a short time later. So that's good. Evans said details surrounding the timing and exchange of gunfire are not clear at this point in the investigation. Several officers did return fire. Evans said, I will note this individual had several firearms and large amounts of ammunition. So this makes me wonder, and I was wondering this too when I was watching Miss Frankie, the think tank's coverage of this. At some point, either the news, they were showing the procession, the honor procession, either in chat or somebody in the news reporters said that there were several firearms and a lot of ammunition, and that this was originally, I think, came in dispatched as a domestic incident. But I'm wondering, and please, anybody out there, there's still people here, surprisingly. Thank you guys for hanging in with me. I'm wondering, I could be way off base, if this was maybe not possibly premeditated. Or if he always, and it could be that this person always, most likely always had lots of guns, lots of ammo at this residence with this 7 children and the wife. I'm assuming it just something, of course it's not right, or not, it's nothing about this is right or good, but it just makes you wonder if it was, I could be way off base. Please, you guys in chat or watching replay, let me know what you guys think. But because I'm wondering who called. I'm assuming that if it was a domestic, that his wife called, or maybe one of the children, because there were some children that would have been old enough to call 911. But we will have to wait and see. So continuing, the fallen first responders. City officials said 27-year-old Elmstrand joined the Burnsville Police Department in 2017 and was promoted in 2019. Rugi, also 27, joined the force in 2020. And Finseth, 40, had been a firefighter and a SWAT paramedic in the city since 2019. Fire Chief B.J. Youngman says Finseth previously worked with the fire department in Savage and Hastings. Medlicott has been with, sorry, I just shut the door, with BPD for 9 years and 5 months. And I watched this police chief, Tanya Schwartz, when they did the presser this afternoon. I was crying right along with her. I felt so bad. She said that her department, of course, is hurting. She says, today, 3 members of our team made the ultimate sacrifice for this community. They are heroes. Every day we pray that they go home to their families. And today that is not happening. We're heartbroken. We're going to need time to be together. Our families need time to grieve. Youngman said Sunday was the toughest day the city has ever experienced. Absolutely. He said it's a tragic day. We're all grieving. We're all trying to understand what happened and why. So neighbors described the scene. Jason Skog said he started to see a large police and SWAT presence in his Burnsville neighborhood at around 2 a.m., but said things escalated 3 hours later at 5 a.m. He says, I heard a loud explosion, which I chalked up right away to a motor going off or a firework. But then, like a minute later, I heard another one, followed shortly thereafter by a series of rapid gunfire. He said I knew right away that something bad was taking place. Skog didn't know exactly where the shooting was coming from, but he knew it was close to his home. Shortly thereafter, he says, we got a phone call from the PD to shelter in place. Go to your basement and shelter in place. Cannot imagine. Terrifying. Dylan Foline also lives in this neighborhood. The father of 2 is shaken by what happened, especially after learning that a family was barricaded in the home at the time of the incident. This is a tragedy, and I have to now explain to my daughter what happened today. And it's just another thought of those kids. That's what really hits home to me. And my heart goes out to the families of the responders. Absolutely. Sean Flynn lives around the corner. Definitely some extra hugs and cuddles this morning with my boys and wife. Lynn said, thankful that something like that hasn't happened in our life, and it hopefully never will. Is also a stark reminder that you never know. You wake up some Sunday morning and everything has gone sideways. The street was blocked off all Sunday from everyone except for law enforcement and homeowners. So then it goes on. My voice is giving out on me, so I'm not going to read the rest of this, but I'll put a link to it. It's talking about the honor run or the honor procession from the hospital to the ME's office, and the governor's statements. So yeah, just absolutely thoughts, prayers, and thoughts and prayers to the family of all the 2 police officers. Sorry, 2 police officers and the paramedic. The first responder, the police, law enforcement, and first responder community. Most definitely. Let's see. Get caught up in comments. Yep, Dandy says, this is so sad why these guys have families so senseless. Are you talking, am I behind again, or are you talking about the Minnesota? But yes, regardless of what you're talking about, yes, everything we've been talking about tonight is extremely sad, unfortunately. P9 says they do have here in New York, when they transport you from hospital to the morgue, you're never left alone, so they accompany you to all resting areas till you're buried under uniform escort. Yes. Yep. Most definitely. So it's horrible. I keep seeing that, and when we were Miss Frankie was live streaming the press conference this afternoon, and before, when they were all piling out there, and just the mayor was there, and then all the officials, and just the looks on their faces and their eyes. I can't imagine. 'Cause I do used to and still do have a lot of law enforcement and EMT paramedic friends, and I couldn't imagine losing any one of them. Yes, P9, because I think you said you were a corrections officer or used to be. P9 says, my prayer to our fallen partners and heroes, may you rest in peace eternally. Absolutely. Well said. Oh, Mr. Steve's here. Or it might be behind. Hello, Mr. Steve, if you're still here. It's always good to have Mr. Steve in the house. Always honored. Thank you, sir. So, of course, he always has his words of wisdom. He says, plenty of scenarios possible. Often 911 caller will advise spouse of the call, allowing offender to prepare an ambush. Yeah, see, I'm just wondering if, and it might not have been pre-planned, but I'm sure if it wasn't premeditated or pre-planned, that he did have a plan. This is just my opinion, did have a plan that if something ever happened and police showed up at his house, that this is what he was going to do. Unfortunately. So sad. Horrible. Oh, Dandy, you hadn't heard about this? Are you talking about the Burnsville? This says, thank you for reporting this. It's new news to me. I think Miss Frankie at the think tank. I didn't know about it until this morning when I picked my phone up and was looking at notifications. My YouTube notifications, and then she was live with something about a shooting, and so I immediately clicked on, and I didn't know about it. And then when I found out it was from Minnesota, because I do have a brother and sister-in-law who live in a suburb a suburb of Minneapolis. Not this one, but a different one. But yeah, it's horrible. Hey, Mind of Monsters says, hey guys, I'm super late. Was catching up on all the chores I missed today. You're not late. We've just been, 2.5 hours. We've just been going over all this madness and horrible, tragic things that have been going on, not just today, but this whole weekend, it seems, has just been chock full of bad stuff. You have the Audrii Cunningham, who is missing in Texas. And then we talked about, I already forgot what we talked about. I went over some Arkansas cases, things happening, and we talked about the Kansas City, the incident at the Kansas City Chiefs parade that happened, and then we were talking about this horrible 2 officers and 1 SWAT paramedic that lost their lives today, and apparently it was went out as a domestic, which I've always heard my law enforcement and paramedic friends say that domestic calls are one of the most, if not the most, and if Mr. Steve's still here, he can attest, put his 2 cents in, because I asked him about it in his members live, that domestic calls are one of the most dangerous calls that law enforcement can go on, because you never know. It's so volatile. You don't know what's going on. It's horrible. So thank you, Mind of Monsters, for dropping in. Let's see. Mr. Steve is saying hi to everybody. We love Mr. Steve. If you have not checked out, and Dandy, if you're still here, I don't know how far I'm behind. I think I'm almost caught up. If you want to throw in the link to Mr. Steve's channel, or if not, I can grab it. If you can't do it, please do that. Yes, Mind of Monsters, and please, and stick in. I know Mind of Monsters has a channel. Stick in her channel. Says it really has been a horrible week this week. Just one thing after another. 3 Texas Amber Alerts. Yep, one I saw in Tennessee, KC Parade, and then this today with the I'm glad. I was just thinking, well, maybe it's just me not working right now, having too much time on my hands to keep my eye on the news and what's going on. But yeah, this week and weekend has just one thing after another. Horrible. Yes, and also Mr. Steve, if he's still here, please say hi to Mrs. Steve and baby Steve and double alt and triple alt, all the Steves. Yep, thank you, Dandy. There is the link to Mr. Steve's channel, True Crime Web. Please do, if you haven't already, check Mr. Steve out. He is the best. Former law enforcement, CSI certified. He's done anything and everything you can do in law enforcement and CSI. He knows his stuff. Oh, our resident Al is still here. Dave, are you gonna be giving Mr. Steve a hard time again about the coffee? All right. I think that was the last story I had. So if you guys have anything else you want to talk about, yes, there is Mind of Monsters. I've got to get over there and binge watch some Mind of Monsters stuff. I'm so behind. Yeah, I don't think I believe you, Dave. Dave says no way he's going to give Mr. Steve a hard time. I hate to call BS, Dave, but I'm calling BS. I know. I'm kidding, Dave. But Mr. Steve can give as well as he takes. Because he's talking when he comes in these other graces us with his presence. He can let his hair down a little bit, as he says what hair he has left. He said earlier, and I wouldn't mess with Mr. Steve. I love Mr. Steve to death, but I wouldn't want to be on his bad side, or Mrs. Steve either, from what I hear. Maybe we should be more afraid of Mrs. Steve than Mr. Steve. I don't know. No, I have no doubt in my mind. I've never met either one of them personally, but just know them through our communications on YouTube, and both outstanding, wonderful people. Yes, Mr. Steve said, oh, well, yeah. Also, Dandy has got Dave in there. Please visit Dave. And Mr. Steve says, Ellie responds to Crime Daily. It's just DV is most common hyped up emotion where spouses don't want others' opinions. Exactly. Yes, that's what I was trying. The point I was trying to make. I knew you probably was hopefully understanding what I was saying. Yeah, it's volatile situations, and a lot of times, because it's usually most of the time, although it can be reversed, obviously. Usually it's male on female DV, and then when law enforcement is called, usually by the female, and then when the police, law enforcement do get there and find out that it's real and that their spouse or significant other, if there's probable, evidence to show that they're the aggressor, that they're going to go to jail, and there's nothing. I think most states, the law enforcement does not have a choice. They have to take them to jail, and then it gets sorted out in the court. And a lot of times the female or male, whoever the victim is, will say, oh no, I don't want them to go to jail. And then a lot of times it turns into two aggressors, the couple being aggressive towards law enforcement, and then that's when things go sideways. At least just from what I have been told and stuff. I like that, Dandy. Dandy says, visit Dave, real news, real late. Absolutely. I like that. Real news, real late. From the owl. Owl on the prowl. Oh, now Dave says that he's not going to be messing with with Mrs. Steve. Yeah, okay. I thought you said Mr. Steve. Yeah, I wouldn't mess with Mrs. Steve. Oh, like I said, yeah, Dave likes to do real news, real late. Oh, awesome. Mind of Monster says that she has met Mr. Steve and is an amazing person, absolutely, and the best coffee buddy. Oh yeah, I can believe that. I would love someday, if the opportunity ever arises, to meet Mr. Steve, Mrs. Steve, any of the Steves or any of the other creators or our members of our mutual community. Oh. So Dave, what do you have against hair bands? You said hair bands. Oh no. Remember our band, Crocodile Heave. Come on, dude. Get with the program. So anybody who doesn't matter if you can or can't sing or can or can't play a musical instrument, we need some more members of our band, Crocodile Heave. Yes, Dandy. Yeah, Dandy knows. She let Mrs. Steve lets Mr. Steve drag her through the woods. See, and I want to see Mrs. Steve drag Mr. Steve through the woods one time. That could have happened, and Mr. Steve just hasn't told. Yeah. Dave says she wasn't letting Mr. Steve burn the kitchen down. Yeah, we're never going to let him live that down. In all seriousness, Mr. Steve says, my father responded to a DV. 2 assisting officers were shot, 1 fatally. Absolutely. Yeah. It's horrible, horrible, horrible. I'm so sorry. I hope your father was okay. But yeah, I mean, he would physically okay. I know having to witness something like that will leave emotionally and mentally, you're not going to be okay. But yes, Dave, Crocodile Heave. So anybody who wants to join our band, our 80s hair band tribute band, whatever classic rock band, Crocodile Heave. We're accepting applications. All right, Mind of Monsters says Crime Con in Nashville. Hey, I love Nashville. Come on up in May. We're planning on getting there from Florida if all is on point. And I have to consider that. I've been to Nashville. I've stayed in Nashville several times, been through Nashville several times on the way to on trips to other places. But yeah, I've stayed at the what's the hotel always decorates for Christmas. Oh my goodness. Can't think of the name of the hotel. We do, me and my mom and my aunt do a lot of trips with Little Rock tours. And we went to the hotel there on the Christmas trip where they're decorated. Please, somebody help me out. The Gaylord. Is it the Gaylord Hotel in Nashville? Yes, Dandy says, sorry about that, Mr. Steve. That's rough. It changes people. Absolutely. Mr. Steve, see, I told Dave, I knew you weren't going to leave Mr. Steve alone because you had to bring up the kitchen fire. Mr. Steve says one kitchen grocery fire could happen to anyone. Yes, it could. In Mr. Steve's defense, it could. I have almost accidentally set stuff on fire on the stove burner before, so I don't have any room to talk. So now Dave's laughing at Mr. Steve. Dandy says that she wants to go, but tickets are sparse for CrimeCon, and VIP are sold out. See, I probably couldn't afford to go. And I've never been to a crime convention. I don't know what they're all about. I mean, obviously I know what they're about, but is it like somebody can explain what all, or just some of the things that goes on at CrimeCon conventions? I'm sure that now Arkansas does have what is it, the Diamond Northwest Arkansas Crime Convention, or the Natural State Crime Convention, where there's a lot of true crime authors. George Jared and some others from Arkansas appear there and give lectures. George Jared has written at least 2, maybe 3 books on the West Memphis Three. He's in and if you ever want because it's not just for Arkansas, but I'm in a true crime true crime group on Facebook called Natural State True Crime Discussion Group. Feel free to join. It's not just for discussing Arkansas cases. We discuss anything and everything true crime. And George Jared, the author, pops in and out sometimes. Very nice fella. I've never met him, but just from interacting in the group with him, he's a very nice guy. Okay, so Opry Mill. Oh, what is it? Hold on. I was wanting to say the Gaylord, but I'm not. I'm just going to put fame. This is okay. So here, get a little how I research. Famous motel in Nashville. This is how I do a lot of my research. The Gaylord Opryland Resort and Convention Center. That's it. I knew it was Gaylord something. The Gaylord Opryland Resort and Convention Center. I've stayed there twice. Once during, like I said, the Little Rock tours. The Gaylord goes all out for Christmas decorations and such, and They do Little Rock Tours does a weekend trip where you go down and stay at the Gaylord that's all decorated. They put fake snow out there. You can go down the snow on the sled and decorations and everything Christmas. It's a beautiful place, very beautiful place. Let's see, I'm behind again. So Mind Monster says applied for a booth, so I'm waiting to hear back. $175 a day here in Orlando. 175 to get in or to have a booth. And this says there's a true crime podcaster thing in Denver that she might go to. Excellent. Okay, so here is Mind Monster says podcasters and events, and we got to watch the live podcast. We say survivors of serial offenders. I heard Brian Hinton. Oh, was he the one that was, I think I remember him. He did a lot of reporting on the Idaho 4 or whatever channel. I think that's who it is. Met Gabby's family. Ethan's mom was there. A lot of speakers. Okay, excellent, excellent. Because, so this is different because when, this is totally different. I understand now. But whenever I hear crime conventions, this is something that I totally, even though I am interested in true crime and true crime memorabilia, not the buying and selling of it, but there are, and they may be called something else, but they've been referred to as crime conventions or true crime conventions, where they glorify this memorabilia from different serial killers, serial offenders. And I don't agree with that at all. Even though I'm interested in the serial offenders, I do not glorify them. I do not condone, obviously, in any way what they did. So this thing with what they call the, and I'm gonna have to say the M word, murderabilia trade of stuff. Yeah, that's. But I understand now that crime conventions is a whole different thing. So. But I hope you guys are understanding what I'm talking about the trade and sale and glorification of serial offenders at these conventions and other gatherings. Now this is just me. I don't agree with that at all. Not appropriate in my opinion. You're talking about evidence lockers. Dandy says it would cost her a small fortune to travel from Colorado to Nashville and stay for days, even if I slept in my car. Yeah, of course, when I was talking about staying at the Gaylord Opryland Hotel, thank goodness that, because when you book a trip, when Little Rock Tours does trips, everything's included. Of course, the coach ride, bus ride, some of the meals are included. Of course, the accommodations are included in the price of the package. And it's some good cost because after we took the trip with Little Rock Tours, we just looked up what it would cost to stay at the Gaylord for one night. And it was more than what we paid for the whole package trip that we were on, 2 or 3 day trip, which included lodgings, meals, and I was like, holy moly. But yeah, so we were lucky to be able to take that trip with the Little Rock Tours, because we would not have been able to do it, pay for it, everything on our own. Oh, so the Crime Con is going to be at the Gaylord, the Opryland Event Center. Okay, I know exactly. Like I said, I know exactly where that's at. I've stayed there twice. We went for we stayed there for 2 nights on the Christmas trip, and then when we were going on another trip, I think out to the East Coast, that's where We stayed there at the Gaylord for one night as our overnight stop before we got continued our journey the next day. So that's cool. Yeah, they have when we were there for the Christmas thing, that's down in the lower like basement areas that were the big meeting halls or whatever, meeting rooms. That's where they had all the games for the kids set up and Christmas trees and different activities you could do. So I got you. I got you. Oh my goodness. Monda Monster says to get a booth is $700. Wow. Yeah, absolutely. Dandy says that's a steep price. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, guys, we've been going almost another 15 minutes or so will be 3 hours, and my voice is giving out. So if we want to go to the 3 hour mark, we can. If y'all got anything else y'all want to talk about real quick, talk amongst yourselves. I'm still here. If my voice didn't give out on me, and if y'all didn't get tired, and we've got more people in here now, there's 12 people here. Oh yeah. Mr. C says nothing cheap about travel. I spent $20K plus last year on travel for cold cases. Yes, that is why. Aside from the fact that Mr. Steve and Mrs. Steve are wonderful, wonderful channel, do wonderful things. That's why I always say, please go. If you don't do anything else, please go support True Crime Web, because they need that support, those donations, that awareness of the channel, as he says, to make as their footprint grows, so they can go out and help these families free of charge. Go out and help these families find their missing loved ones, help with cold cases, do some very good things. So please, please, we don't do anything else. Nothing against any other creators, but Mr. Steve, Chris from the Mob Crew goes out with them. Carolyn from Unearthed Secrets goes with them. Plus all the everybody else behind the scenes. So please, please support those 3 channels as much as you can, because they go out and do some very, very good, much needed work. Oh, maybe in my younger day. P9 says I travel on my motorcycle and couch surf along the way. All I need is gas and a sleeping bag. Yeah, when I was younger, when we were kids, there were 7 of us grandchildren, and there was 2 older cousins that were a little bit older than me. So it was me and my 2 younger brothers and 2 younger male cousins, and my grandparents would take us out, and we would go camping all the time. We'd sleep on the ground, on the sleeping bag. I couldn't do it anymore. My body would be like, can't do it anymore, sister. Dave says you can spend at least that much in Florida alone in the tolls. Yeah, I believe it. P9 says I logged over 10,000 miles last year. Holy moly. I know Mr. Steve puts a lot of miles on too. Mr. Steve says I get tolls for months after a trip, nickel and dimed for months. Yeah. Yeah, because don't they now they read the license plate and then they send you get it in the mail. Because I think that happened one time. Me and my mom and my aunt were going we went down to San Antonio for some reason, and we took a toll road, and I was like, well, there's nobody there to take money, and apparently they have the cameras up that reads his license plates, and you get it in the mail. Here in Arkansas, at least where I live, we don't have toll roads, so. Yeah, Dave says states are going to get their quota. Yeah, they're going to get what they can. All right, has anybody got anything else? Trying to think if we covered everything. There's, like I said, there's so much going on these last couple of days and this week. It was hard to keep up. It's been hard to keep up with everything. Let me check and make sure my computer hasn't frozen up because I haven't got any more comments popping up. Oh, I'm caught up. All right, you guys got quiet all of a sudden. That mean we're done? Yeah, we're almost at the 3-hour mark, and my voice is giving out on me. But let me start getting all my outro stuff ready here. I did all my shameless plugging. Thank you, everybody. Oh Lord. Mr. Steve, as always. Dave, as always. Mind of Monsters, P9, Dandy. I'll start repeating myself. I think Michigan Wifey was here earlier. She's probably long in bed. Nanar was here earlier. Who else? We're trying to go down through comments at the beginning. Everybody who was here participating in chat, everybody who was lurking, thank you. Everybody who's watching on replay, thank you. Trying to scroll back up to the top at P9. I may be repeating names now. I just don't want to miss anybody. Everybody who was here and participated, thank you so much. Very much appreciated. Please don't forget to hit that like button on your way out. If you haven't already, please subscribe, like, share, comment, all that good jazz. You guys know it helps small channels like mine reach more people. Not so much me reaching more people, but the information that I share, missing persons, cold cases, help reach more people. That's the most important thing that I want to get out there. Once again, you can find me on Facebook, group and a page. Both of them obviously called Southern Galaxy Crime. You can email me, questions, comments. If you have a case that you want me to share, send me any information you have, victim's name, state it comes from, any information. I will research it and share it for you. I have buy me coffee, pay me, PayPal me, Southern Galaxy Crime merch. Help support the channel and the search for the missing. There's a portion of anything donated or merch bought goes to nonprofit organization. It's very special and dear to my heart, and I'm sure a lot of people's hearts here. So you're not just helping me out, you're helping families out who are looking for their missing. Right, I think that is all the shameless plugging I have. All right. Yes, Mind of Monsters says, good night, y'all. Thank you for having me. You're welcome here anytime, Mind of Monsters. Anybody and everybody is welcome here. I think pretty sure that me, my channel, Mr. Steve's channel, Miss Frankie's channel, Chris's channel, Sarah share a lot of the same members in our communities, and you guys know, and we know that y'all are in this for the right reasons, and participate with creators for the right reasons. So anybody and everybody is welcome here. All we ask is everybody is respectful of each other and anything we're talking about. So far, I've never had knock on wood, never had any problems in any of my chats. So I appreciate you guys so much. P9 says, I'm heading to bed. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you, P9. Once again, thank you, everybody who was here. Like, share, subscribe, comment, blah, blah, blah. I'm loopy now. And I will, let's see, today is Sunday. I may do, because once again, I did not get a video recorded for my Missing Person Monday. So most likely at some point, maybe 10 or 11-ish, whatever time I decide to get out of bed tomorrow, or sometime in the afternoon, I will do a live stream for my Missing Person Monday. So keep a lookout for that. Subscribe, hit the bell so you get notifications. So I will see you guys. Once again, thank you, everybody. And I will see you guys at some point tomorrow.